Good morning, Matthew. Matthew, can you tell me something real quick? Matthew, can you tell me if it's subscriber only or not? I don't know if this setting keeps flipping back on. I can't really shut it off right now, but we might have to be subscriber only today. Okay, well, I don't know why. I keep toggling it. It won't turn off. So that's all right. That's all right. We'll live. We'll live. There's some more important things than that anyway that we need to talk about. Okay. I was looking at some stuff this morning, looking at the late bloomers. There are some things we need to talk about, right? The first thing I think we need to talk about is the fact that the daily expected move is at 595.78, so very good level. And I'm not expecting to necessarily hit that level until end of day. The other thing about this is you're in a very risky spot holding calls over the weekend. And I think that's something huge to bring up right now. So I'm going to wait till a few more people trickle in. So make sure to say your good mornings, say thank you, another blessed day, able to wake up in the morning, able to come onto a computer, use some electricity. Wow, what a time we live in right now. What a time we live in. We are reacting up to the monthly expected move. Actually, if you go look at futures or SPX 500, you're seeing, resistance come in right there. This is the risky point in the market where you can really convince yourself to be like, maybe I want to sit this out for a bit. And we're going to talk about those things in just a brief moment. When we bank in them QQQ calls, QQQ for the most part is going to be 525. If you want to full degen it, 525. If you want to get out early and just make a quick buck, it would be right at 522. It would be right at 522. You say, I'm out for the risk for the day. I'm going to have a good weekend. That's what it looks like for now. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of the plan. Why would we be quick to take profit, by the way, if you're thinking of taking profit at 522, or you're holding till 525, or you're going to sell at 522 to break even and then leave those runners for the end of the day, let those expire or something? I get it. Why are we hesitant to take upward plays on the Qs right now? I'm out. LOL. Good stuff, brother. Hey, there you go. Hey, man, I mean, this is actually a good trade right here. The trade we caught is actually still a good one. Like, that's not bad. It's just like a 15-minute trade. We're hesitant to hold things long here because of what? Hold on one second, I gotta sneeze. Oh, goodness. The monthly expected move. As we get outside of monthly expected moves, even though you are experiencing something crazy, you're getting the deals to actually come through, which is something crazy, and the craziness can continue. This could be V-shape like 2020 or some bullshit like that. It really can, but you kind of want it to show you that it's going to do that first, and I think there is much more risk to seeing some kind of pullback at least next week. I think you could get a 2-hour pullback, a 2-hour run up into a daily pullback. That's what I think could actually happen. That's what I think is shaping up for the market. If you wanted to take that in consideration with the Qs, that would mean, and I'll show you some other stocks that are showing this. I'll even show you a couple stocks that I'm paying attention to. But that would mean that this 2-hour, yeah, we're going to fool around for today, set that trap. Then the 2-hour is just going to vomit down to like a daily expected move on Monday. Maybe you catch that bounce to break through here. Then you come down even deeper. You fill this gap. And then we look where that weekly expected move is. And what that's going to do is it's going to make this kind of curl up and then pull down. You get that little blip, pull down. And then you're going to be able to curl up into positive territory. And this is more, and this could be a lot quicker, by the way. And this is more the time where I want to be like, okay, boom, boom, right? So I am looking for next week to set up. Weirdly enough, this morning I was talking out loud because I like to talk out loud to practice talking because I talk out loud all day. You're looking for, and I called it this for some reason in my head. You're looking for the Harry Potter from the 2-hour, right? The Harry Potter would be great in some way. Now, what is the Harry Potter? Well, you're looking for but, right? Or the Harry Potter style like this, right? So that is more the Harry Potter on your MACD, right? The divergence showing here. You can see it looks like a nice Harry Potter scar. Ooh, my scar. Yeah. So I think this is very interesting to me. I think it's very interesting because it lines up to Vixpiration and everything like that. It means you could see like a downward move into Vixpiration. I think that's interesting. But also you have the risk on Monday, and why you want to pay attention to how much your position is if you do something like that, if you risk to reward it, which we'll talk about a few of those. You have to understand that they have potential news coming out on Monday. That's another deal. So if that is seen as bullish and it's just super irrational, you can see that. So position size, if you're going to do something like that, I think it would be much better to like see the pathway down, take this position, see a weekly expected move hit, see a gap filled, and then you say, okay, I'm out. And then if you get a 2-hour bounce that like just fails and sets up the lower high, you're kind of just like, okay. And it could be more than this, by the way. But I wanted to show you guys a couple of stocks that I was paying attention to. Okay, one of them is going to be still Nvidia. Nvidia is the risk to reward play. Nvidia is outside of a 95% weekly expected move. I believe it is right now. Nvidia is well outside of a monthly expected move with the opportunity to extend to 145, but it is well outside of a monthly expected move at this point. This could do this, by the way. We could see boom, 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 right? We could see this up here. You're looking for kind of that Harry Potter, right? You're looking for the Harry Potter down on your MACD, and then you're looking for the kind of higher high for Nvidia on the actual price action. So Nvidia would be the risk to reward play, and I would say you don't try to get greedy and be like, oh yeah, I'm taking Nvidia down to 114. I think you're still looking at like this area right in here at like 122, right? So this is all in context of knowing that you could see good news on Monday. I'm not necessarily buying it, but the reason that I want to discuss things further is because a lot of the warning signs that we talked about, like XLU, it did snap back, right? Even though it's been bad this whole time, it did snap back. So either are we lagging behind this bad boy, or is this catching up for the big move? The dollar still continuing to like flop here, kind of a big deal there. You have volatility going down to the critical level of 1683. Very, very important level down there. Notice what I had drawn up already. HGX giving it up. See if it snaps back. But these are warning signs, but some of the warning signs have built back a little bit, right? Some of them have. I don't think HYG has. See, even HYG is trying to. TLT is the bad one, right? TLT is the bad one. So that's what I wanted to just kind of discuss this morning. It seems like there are some things. I think Microsoft could pop to the upside, but I really would just look at this and go, hey, what are my monthly expected moves? What are my weekly expected moves saying? And Microsoft would overall, to me, be like a really good risk to reward play that also is shaping up some stuff on like the middle time frames, right? You see all this like kind of leaking higher, but we're still holding that first divergence point. So I think Microsoft would be a risky one. I still think it could get to 460 today, by the way. But it tells you over the weekend, it's kind of hard to believe like, oh yeah, holding longs here when everyone has been long for this whole period is just going to be good, right? There's one more I wanted to talk about. I think it was, oh shoot, which one was it? Oh, it's JP Morgan. JP Morgan as well. So JP Morgan, you look at this 2 hour, it is just skying, right? We're skying on the 2 hour. We blew past our 263.52. Holy crap, what a move. But what did we never do? We never saw like any kind of real pullback from this level to do something like this. So I think you're going to end up seeing maybe something like this tested, 239.64. And I know that's crazy. You could just come down to 253 and everything's good. But that could just be your 2 hour pullback at this point, right? We could see a real dump on these 2 hours and just go wham, and then go up, and then set the next trap into the end of May. That would be kind of crazy. It's either that or we're just going to blow past this right here. So looking for that Harry Potter down there on your MACD. JP Morgan looks interesting to me. If you go into this on like a 30-minute time frame and you're looking at the weekly expected moves, monthly expected moves, risk to reward wise, this coming down to at least fill this gap at 260, if not coming all the way down to test in the block here to make a 2-hour higher low, right? So where is the 2-hour higher low for JP Morgan? Here. So if the 2-hour is going to see another extended move, we could come all the way and fill that gap and then turn to the upside. You could not see that. You could see something more lackluster and then see something like this. What you're looking for here is the break of this level eventually and how we would do it. So I just wanted to point out some of those things to you guys. Also the settings here. There you go. I just want to point out some of those things, talk about the risk over the weekend. But for today, we're on the squeeze side, right? We think we're going to squeeze to something like 595.78 to the upside. 600 would be psychotic. I don't think that's on the table. I like 595.78, right? It's such a, you have a confluence of data there now. Yeah, super interesting. All right, what do you guys think? Oh, I just clicked on something wrong. There we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. Look like an inside day today. Not enough volume for a market maker to sell to us. We'll start next week. What's retail? Yeah, I think you're going to see the. So this is the kind of. So it's the same thing in a different direction, right, Tony? We shifted markets into what? We shifted it into the bullish neutral stance. Now you're just going to go into the neutral stance and actually have a chance to see the bearish neutral stance, I think, show up in price over the next week or so. And what that means is people aren't going to realize that buying the dip and selling the rip is slightly changing. And those dips are actually going to create bounces that are smaller, that don't show you the way higher. And that will be good for us to see. If we see one 30-minute move next week, all you have to see is this, and you're starting a downtrend, all right? Where is the 30-minute higher low right now? Well, it's right here, right? We move sideways, dip down a little bit, boom. Okay, so that's your 30-minute higher low. All you have to see next week to know the game is changing is see the 30-minute break this level, see it bounce up, and then see it confirm down and break this level, and you know the game is changing. Now, this could be that 2-hour, right? This could be that 2-hour drop that then sees the trend come back just all of a sudden to bait people for real, and then you actually dump, right? Then you actually see like a rug pull. I think you're going to see kind of like weirdly enough, it's like a bear market behavior where you see a big drop and then you get a little like half of that move pop. I think it'll look something like that, but you never know till it actually happens in front of you. Hey, there you go. UNH went up from the buy zone. You don't have to freak out about it, right? It touches that center line. It's in the buy zone. It's in an accumulation zone. If you believe in the stock, all right, cool. I agree, and I'm hoping to take some shorts into the end of the day, but hoping we get to 595, 600. I think 600 would be way too much. I want you to look at futures and tell me that this could flow to 600. I guess, I mean, on a 4-hour scale, you're looking for 4-hour here. No, I don't think you can see. Let me look at this RSI, see if we can like estimate. So how big's the move right now? You'd need to see another one of these, right? So from your RSI, you had to see, and this is just a cheeky thing to kind of like estimate. So you had to see this. And if you're saying you want to buy shorts at the end of the day, but you want to see if it hits 600, that could be a tag of 600. I would agree with that. I would not agree with 600 having a closing 4-hour price because that would just wipe out divergence at this point. It would. If you saw that today, it would. Maybe if it leaks into next week and you see some flow to it. I think the point that I paid attention to was 5,973. It was just a level that I was marking off. But other than that, I'm just paying attention to what? Daily expected move today. I think daily expected move will be a very good amount of help. So that daily expected move for the SPX is in the bottom right corner. And that daily expected move says for like SPX 5970, right? So 59.70 would be right around this white line that I marked off. So that's actually really nice. It's nice when it adds up for you. But I'd agree with the sentiment of like, I think over the weekend going short is better than going long. But I would still take into consideration the fact that we have potential news coming on Monday with like an India deal, which I think might not even be happening. But still, just in case, it's like, I'm not going to bet the house on it. I'm just going to try to make a nice little trade, maybe do $1,000 or something like that, something that wouldn't beat me up, and maybe taking like a 2 week out option. That way, if it goes against me initially, I can just, be out of the play, lose 10%. That's how I'm seeing it. What about you, Oakland Group? God dang it, I have to keep clicking over to here. You will see selling in the morning today. I think you just maybe could fill gap today, like fill this downward one. Balls. Hoping they squeeze the short in HIMS one last time today and catch that short. I think it was HIMS. I actually took a look at that. I think it was like $54 was the last opportunity. Let me double check. Yeah, the only thing that's bad about HIMS is you did make somewhat of a higher low right where you're at, where you actually broke through. I would actually be okay. Wait, what numbers did you say? Oh, they squeezed a 61.62. Okay, good. I thought you were looking for a higher price. No, I'm thinking the best I think you could get out of this if it squeezes today is like 63.40. 63.40 is what I see. Oh yeah, 63.40. That would be amazing. If you see 63.40, you say thank you. That's what you do. That's what you do to HIMS. Imagine longing from the huge gap on Monday. Who would have thought? Yeah, that's why it's like leave runners there. But I didn't even leave runners, right? I thought we would pull back, right, Richard? And then we just didn't do the most probable thing. And then we continued to not do the most probable thing. This has been one of the most irrational weeks you've probably ever experienced. Would you say that, Richard? I'll go bounce in the afternoon and 3 hour bounce. I think it'll be a low leak higher. Yeah, that's what I think. I think we've experienced one of the most irrational. It reminds you of a complete V-shaped recovery, weirdly enough. But in context of like, not all the risk is necessarily gone, and we haven't retested anything. Like, we don't have the money pumping either that we had, say, in like 2020. But even if you look at 2020, you find this level right here, right? And we actually did a lot of things before that, but I want you to pay attention to the breakout, and then you dip into it. Okay, so we'll leave that there for now. And then I want you to look over here. What zone is the same over here? It's right here, right? Here, let's do SPX. It's right here. This is very simple, right? If you hold up now in the zone and you do this, that could be all the pullback you get. And then you go, boom, and you try to go make a new all-time high. If you're going to scare people a little bit more, which I don't think you necessarily want to see this. I think the worst case, you want like gap fill and then just a buy. But this is still bullish. It's just you really have to be aware if you start like breaking through 5. Well, I guess this is different, but 554.30. Because if you break that, then you kind of show that pathway to go like this. But I'm not leaning towards that. I want to say, like, I'm not, this is super bullish context. Look at your MACD, look at your RSI. You're very likely to continue, right? We're not in that bear market environment yet. You saw a hint of it for a moment, but you didn't get the next push lower to signify this was going to be a bear market rally. Okay? So what you want to see here is boom, boom, boom. Then you come down into the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go up, and then that is potentially, and this could take a lot longer, by the way, but then you potentially see like something bad in like August, like end of July, August. But yeah, that's the main opportunity. We talked about this a few days ago. If you watched to the end of the video, this or this is the real opportunity, I think, to feel more secure in the move in 2025. You know, you like your move to cuddle you a little bit. And actually, I don't even know if you have a 2 yet, right? This could all just be a 1. Then you can go boom, 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 boom. You can just keep going. It does not look healthy from this standpoint, no. That is why I'm really heavily leaning towards like not a boom, but I'm saying as just in case. We trade like water on this channel. We always be aware of the risk, right? We are always aware of the risk. We know that the test of here is definitely the most likely thing. With the health of the market, the over crazy over readings you're getting in a lot of different moves. Yes, it is very likely to come back in that block. Right? So something like Nvidia, right? One of those that we're talking about, hey, that could go up there. Okay, well, where did it want to break through to go higher? Well, let's delete this for a second as the market opens up. I think it'll be a little slow today, so hold on. I would be looking right there, right? And I could probably even extend that down and be comfortable, right? Remember how important that level was? Very, very nice. And your last 2-hour higher low was here. So if you don't want to start like a major downtrend, you don't really want to lose this. So I think this line right here is just fantastic for Nvidia to see a nice big retrace. I think that would be great. There is you have to be paying attention to your risk here. Remember, if something freaks you out, right? Something freaks you the hell out, you don't have to do anything today. You can lick your wounds. You can take your profit. You don't have to participate. You can look at the end of the day, see if we're up at high levels, and then be like, make a decision. We haven't gotten outside of the monthly move yet. Very nice. We see no inclination of some kind of big turnaround right now for volatility. No inclination of that just yet. Metaput's finally paid out. Let's go, Richard. Congratulations, buddy. See, and you were able to pull it off in this environment. That's actually really, really cool. Hims for now trying to fill gap, but also trying to curl up on the actual MACD. RSI trying to get above the center. Sorry, I just have Hims up on my other screen. Early doors by AMC. AMC and GME, very interesting because the market... A lot of people believe this with the GME, GME is going to squeeze together with the SPY, and then you're going to hit a point where GME doesn't look back and it just goes, while the SPY looks like it's almost crashing. And I think you have an argument for that next week. Now, I'm always hesitant to say that because most of the time, 90% of the time, 99.9% of the time, this thing is not seeing some kind of short squeeze. So you're looking for that 0.1% moment. But I think you have a recipe for it. That's for sure. You might be looking at retest here, but you've seen the pathway higher. Don't be shaken at this point. The way you start the downtrend, the way this actually gives up is I think you take this out. I mean, unless you see the flash sell to come back into here and then you go up. But I think that this starts to add to risk of breaking down over time. So as long as we're not doing that, I think it's fine. Anyone in Amazon? Amazon, ooh, rough. Hold on. Oh, that is so rough. Amazon looks like it wants to get a higher low, first of all. I would not be expecting Amazon to go to I think 216 is possible. I just don't think it's very probable today. I think you're looking at one place and one place only. Fall so hard, you gotta fill the gap. Oh, that was cringe. Okay, the gap fill. I think you're looking for a little bit past gap fill, and then you start to potentially reject. That could take you into... This could take all day, though. Right, leak into Monday. Yeah, all day, and then you just see that sell on Monday. Congrats, Richard, says Bernie. Microsoft, I think there's a lot of risk for that name right now. And you're actually seeing a pathway Yeah, you're starting to open the doors to downside. Now, here's where you look for the flash squeeze type moves, and it just goes wham, and then it just starts dropping. Even if it's that slow leak, a wham in one day is still looking like this. But you've kind of seen that pathway lower, so you have to be aware of your little 5-minute and understand you can go retest this high, but if you don't make a new one, you go like this and you fail, you're kind of opening the door to downside right there. So I'm not happy with Microsoft. I don't think Microsoft is the best play in the world. I think Microsoft is bound to see I think Microsoft could get a daily pullback like next week. Like that's the risk of right now is you could start a daily pullback next week. You don't have to make the Harry Potter, right? That's the risk. I mean, and if it says anything and it's like, okay, we don't know what's really going to come next week. Obviously, we're not future tellers, but we can see the signs of like, hey, there is weakness here. There's some kind of trap that looks like could be here. Very high potential for that. You could just say, okay, I can risk a small amount, or I just say, I'm selling the longs. I'm not being long over this weekend. Let me see what shapes up. Yeah, we'll get that report in a little bit. It will be good. The Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report, I think, will be good. Mainly because in April we got those news points, right? This might have made people feel better. This might have made people feel better. I think it'll be good, but you know, that's mind reading. It's still kind of like me. I treat it like a 50-50 flip. I treat it like earnings, kind of like a data point that you don't know the number. We know that the trend is up. That's what we know. Looking for the short at 59.50. I think that's a good level. I'd look for 59.72 as well, Dave. Just bought SPY at 59.5, 59.60 DTE calls. Ooh, that's some degen behavior. Oh, God. That could take all the way till the end of the day. What up, Lumps? No, I noticed. I didn't see you chat at all, really, did I? Did you chat? I don't think so. Google calls. Google was great here. This is the first reaction. My goodness, what a reaction from Google. Now you're just going at any point today. I mean, I could look at levels for you for Google if you'd like. You want me to give you some hints on Google? Google could still hit the top of this zone by end of day. Weirdly enough. And where you are at right now, for the week says, I'm just gonna tell you what the probability is saying. Where you are at right now for Google says, sell me daddy. It says, don't mess with me, boy. If you're in like an option, right, and you're not looking for more extension, because I think you could come down and test this again. Tesla, great reaction here. This is what you want. We want to see Tesla hit today. Today, we want Tesla to go to 357. If it goes to 360, that's really as high up as you can get before the risk starts to be like maxed out. Yeah, 357, 360 is like 357 says sell me daddy. 360 says why are you still holding me? 360 says stop kidnapping Tesla. Your hands are too diamond if you have an option expiring, especially like today or next week. I think that 360, you have to be like, this is a great time. It's done. Even if it explodes higher, this was a great trade. You have a high amount of risk that this is not going to continue next week. But price action wise, where did Tesla come into that we mentioned? Boom, right here. The reason that Amazon is worse, by the way, I wanted to talk about this after looking at Tesla. The reason that Amazon is a little freakier is because it hit our second point, right? It didn't hold up here. It held up at that second point we were paying attention to around 203 to 204, right? So because it held up there, notice how deep the MACD got. If it would have held up like right in here towards like 207, right? Then you could see this. But now that you're down here, you could flop this move. You could go like this and then cross. I think you're going to see this and then cross. I think you're going to retest into this in some way. But this is why Amazon, it could be the better one because price came down more, right? You can read into it that way and say, oh, if this thing roars higher, it's going to be worth more. Okay. But also at the same time, there might be risk because this is actually showing you something bad. But if you really wanted to say, when does Amazon get bad? It's when it starts to lose this point right here. Right here starts to open the door to losing this, to losing this. So I think Amazon will still produce today, personally. I think a lot of things will bait people in before the week is up. I get the 5, Richard. I get the 5. She gets the hundo. That's nice. My wife had a rough day yesterday. I came upstairs and I was gonna make my long YouTube video, and then she was having a rough time. So she will appreciate it, Richard. And I was gonna take her to dinner tonight. So thank you so much for that donation. Okay, appreciate you because I don't know if you guys know this. We try to do things the traditional way, and the traditional way is like she's hanging out with a baby all day, right? Like almost all day, and she maybe gets like 2 to 4 hours of break, like from Abuela a week. So if you think stocks are annoying, go hang out with my baby for like a year and a half, like she has every single day. Love the girl, but you can't tell me that kids aren't annoying sometimes. Wait till you see the PayPal one. How much did you make off of Meta? Wait, let me go see. Oh God, I'm scared. Did you put a message in it? Whoa! Okay, I actually... Did you put a message behind it? Oh, man. 300 from Richard. Richard had a good trade this week. Thank you, Richard. Oh my goodness, thank you. That is so amazing. I appreciate that, buddy. We'll make sure to take care of wifey. My son be driving me crazy. I can't put messages on that. Oh, damn, I'm sorry. Well, thank you for that. And all of that goes to her, right? I get $5. How much are gumballs now? They used to be 50 cents. So what, with inflation, they gotta be like $5, right? Amazon was actually the better trade for me. Which way did you go with Amazon, Richard? Thank you, Richard, for that, by the way. Exactly, Primal. That's how I see it. Puts. Oh, nice. Okay, so you were able to catch this down probably above what, Richard? It was above the 95% line for a moment, wasn't it? Wasn't it? I feel like it was. Let me go see. I think it was. Oh, yeah, it was above the 95% line. Solid little risk to reward play there, right there, baby. Right at the top, pretty lucky. Hey, whatever. Trading does, luck is luck only comes to those who put themselves out there, right? Wow. What a good play from 214. Did you hold it all the way down to 202? That's crazy. I think the hardest job in the world is being a mom. I don't think it's like the most difficult, but I think it is the hardest, like mentally. Like mentally, you're just like, what the fuck is going on? I held it to 204. God, that is some resolve. That is some resolve right there. Congratulations, Richard. What a play. It looks like a risk to reward play to me. Just taking that percentage, being like, all right, I'm going to buy a put for like 2 weeks, and then being like, oh, we hit it. Did you degen it a little more than that, Richard? Tell me. Did you degen it a little bit? Did you get a little itchy? And you were like, I'm going to short this in a Friday. Yeah, I did 1 week. Okay, 1 week. That's not bad. That's not bad. You gave yourself some room. No, my wife says she appreciates because she'll vent to me. She appreciates that I let her talk, and then I just say, you're doing everything right. It's just a baby can be difficult sometimes, right? She started to change things. Like they tried to go get breakfast over at Abuela's multiple times throughout the week to help them out. So thank you guys for the kind words. That's exactly what it was. Expired this Friday and sold yesterday. It was literally like 5 days then, or 4 days maybe from that top. All hail Abuela, that's for sure, dude. Richard, that is that is on the edge. I'm on the edge of degenerating, but I'm holding on. Wait, what is it? I can't do it. I can't do my Lady Gaga too much. That wick on Tesla is huge. Woo. It still could take care of gap too. Once these things, they show the pathway higher for now, then you can do your little 5-minute things, right? This could come, as long as this isn't happening, this is still on the bull side, right? You can tap into here. Looks like that's what's happening with the wick. And then this thing can continue. And you could see like a 5-minute triple divergence and you just do something like this. But as long as you're not losing this, then up is the direction. As long as the SPY's not losing this, then up is the direction, right? That's how you break down. Even though you'll see divergence, is it a good idea to short a trend? Not necessarily. I would say on a 5-minute especially, you want to at least see that breaking. And then this is the actual time to take an attempt, right? And then you see it break that low and you feel confident of where you're going next. That's 5-minute type stuff. I still think we're going up. I think we'll go to here by end of day. It could take a long time. If we start to see things change, we will change, right? Why? We trade like water, my friends. Oh, yields. Remember yields? The yields, we were talking about the 4-hour pullback. Hey, 4-hour pullback. Now we look for the next run. Now we look for, can this catch some ground here? Make a 4-hour higher low. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does it stop short? Does it extend, then lose that level? Right? That's how yields will break down. Right now, they're still in the positive trend, which means bad things for TLT. TLT, looking for the 2-hour divergence now. TLT, we told you 8708 is like all you should expect from this kind of bounce. Absolute ripper, so this is good. And then you just want to see, like, does that do this? And then turn back up. That would be your higher low. Or just keep going and make that higher low up higher, right? Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Show the way higher by breaking through. Cut down a little bit, curl back up. That would be good. If you're going to see a flush here, well, then it'll probably be just like flush. And then you'll have to see what happens around here. See if you get the 2-hour divergence. And then you got to beat that high, show the higher low. There's a lot that can happen with yields, but I think there might be a good buying opportunity with TLT soon. So I'm looking at TLT. You guys know I like to, now that we're down at those low levels, I'm thinking about investing back into TLT. Him squeeze shorts, and you look at the RSI, there's a park there. I do like the move to the level that you suggested. I said 63.40, correct? Yeah, 63.40 is all I would expect from this. Great squeeze, though. Great little squeeze there. That means... No, IWM not seeing too good. Palantir testing 130. Palantir, we should get one more rotation up. You should get one more squeeze up. And what you're looking from Palantir today for the short is you don't take out this wick. And then I think this, for the most part, let me double check. It's a hard one to short, right? We're not talking about like, oh, some massive position. We're just like, hey, if I want to play next week, I understand the risk of that there could be good news on Monday. I think more this is an inclination to kind of sit out, let the market do what the market wants to do for the next like week, or at least break down, get a pop, and then you short the pop. Palantir for the time being, though, it's outside of a good level, right? Palantir for the month still has room to go, right? That gives you some inclination of how positive it could be. And then Palantir for now, where are we looking? Well, the best this would most likely get is somewhere up in here. But if you see this, and then we kind of just slow grind that up throughout the day, and then you start to see that at the ending hour of the day or so, that can add up to, hey, we're going to break this low, retest, and start to see that downtrend type move. Okay, the reason for that is it needs to not show you that it wants to go higher. It needs to show you, hey, I want to break trend soon, right? When you do that, you can say, okay, this is the riskier time to get it, but that first push looks like it's coming because we never saw the way higher. Then you just say, okay, if this ever shows me that way higher, or I have to manage my trade, right? We test into here, and then you see that bounce back up. It could be a retest to do that, right? But that's where you do your good management, right? Your managing of the trade. So if we go up, you come back down into this and you test and you curl back up, you want to say, I'm out. And this is way too many drawings. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is how seriously you have to be managing trades in this environment because you don't really know. Go up to here, you curl down, and then you see that pop up. It might be just retesting this level again, but if that curls up on your MACD, where is it? It's positive. So you want to be like, I'm out. Then you see it roll again. You go, okay, I'm back in. Then you see this move. That would be great. Pretty much next week, we're going to target a downward weekly expected move. That's pretty much what we're looking at. All right, SPY able to climb. Someone did mention Amazon. Let's go see if Amazon's able to. Still nothing from Amazon. Damn. That's rough. That is rough. AMD saw some positivity. Able to gap out. I still think it could come all the way to 120 today, but I'm not the biggest fan of AMD. SPY looks good. Good little test. Good little fill. Nice job. And we're chilling. I got to pull up my stream over here now. Squeezes a lot of the time. It's kind of like I'll equate it to not chess, but a chess board. The pawns go first usually, weirdly enough. Then you start to lose your knights. Then you start to lose your bishops. Then you start to lose your, rooks. Then you start to lose your queen and king. I would say Nvidia would be considerable to the queen or king. Netflix right now might be a king. If I see this from Netflix, I'm just not even. Yeah, you're gonna fall here. Netflix is probably a great risk to reward play to $1,000, especially if you see just like a sell into the bounce and people buy that bounce and then you just fall again. Right, something like this. Oh, they're actually mowing. That's impressive. Since we haven't mowed for like 2 weeks, guys. Come on. I was about to get my mower out. Yeah, UNH apparently saw a bounce, right? I'll look at it for 1 second. Yeah, bounce. Nice. All right, sick. Cool. You have 30 minutes, but you can still see it too. This could continue. It could not. You're kind of looking for this for the next opportunity down. But there is not, once again, this is investment side. You're just in an accumulation zone from what I think. Tesla's still doing Tesla things. SPY still doing SPY things. Well, we need like one good 5-minute push. We did look at QBTS yesterday. Sorry, I gotta look for those. Patrick, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate you, buddy. And Alfredo, thanks for subscribing earlier, okay? What was it, QBTS? We've been looking at this one a few times. Okay, nice. See, that's that sideways. 2 hour goes up. This one right here is trying to show you that it wants to go higher. Leaving the gap behind, I would watch for that. I think either way, you're looking for a trap here. Let's look at daily. Yeah, either way, you're looking for trap here. If it breaks out, it breaks out. I'm leaning towards this being the next good buy. If it doesn't do that, whatever. There's no trade for me here, right? If you want to risk to reward a short and look at this 2 hour divergence, I think that's fine. But you have to do your good management skills and understand, like, hey, there's potential news on Monday. Anyone that's shorting or thinking about shorting today, you're going to hear me say the probably best decision is just to like be like, I'm not going to have any risk on the market. That's probably the best one. And then the probably good decision, right? At least if you want to take a trade, is not long, which would mean a very manageable position for potential downside for a break of like 1037, I would say, for something like QBTS. I think the next good buy is down here. It could be the top of this zone. It could be in the middle. I like the middle. That means for the SPY, it's the same story, right? The short is taking out the 30-minute higher low right now. So the first position would be like to take this out. You just watch that thing go. Then you get to here. You're going to retest, right? You get into this one. You might retest and then just dump it. Yeah, I think hedging too. I think there's an argument for holding longs. There is. I'm just thinking it's way too risky. Nah, YOLO calls, Jason. Because there's low volume. You're at a peaking moment too. Usually those peaking moments are pretty low volume. It means what low volume when it gets extremely low. And by the way, why is volume low today? You're in the first part of the day, right? We know that if you didn't know this, it's like 30 to 40% of the volume comes in the last hour of the day every single day. So people who are showing you volume like now, like, yeah, that's okay, but I would more so be paying attention to the end of the day, because paying attention to volume like now, you don't usually see big volume until like 2 o'clock. Well, I guess like an hour before close. Yeah, I've seen this mistake from YouTubers all the time. YouTubers at like, lunchtime, they'll make a video and say volume is extremely low, and then they put a video out there, and then someone who watches it after market close goes, volume wasn't low today. What the hell is this guy talking about? YouTubers run into that problem a lot. I've seen it constantly. I've been like, volume, like a guy, his whole thing was volume is low, volume is low, volume is low. I've seen this multiple times throughout the years. They just say volume is so low, volume is so low, and then you just go, it's not. It wasn't. It's just, you're paying attention to volume during the point in time where there is low volume. Now, I think you could see a low volume day here, which means what? You could see an increase in volume soon. But people who are saying this volume is absolute garbage, I would disagree. Your volume was worse here. Like very much so worse here. Your volume was worse here. Your volume right now is fine. So I don't see it. I don't see any reason to be like freaking out because of volume. Hey, there you go, SPY. Get going. So now we should see that like 5-minute leak up higher. Great little retest. Great retest. You didn't even come down to like 589.30 or something. You just went. That's good for now. Keep showing that way higher. 63.40. Let's see. Let's see if 63.40 is a good level or not, huh? If I can find it. 63.19 on the high right now. Let's go, dude. That's just an initial curl up too. That's just strength though. Um, ooh, 63.19. I mean, you are taking out 62.79. I don't think it looks too bad. Do you rent that crystal ball? No, I just pay attention to block price action. And that was where the block price action said, hey, this is going to be the test. If I had a crystal ball, I would rent it out to you guys for a premium. I would let each one of you guys use it for like a week and be like, hey, make your $1 million. Okay, cool. But I don't got one. If I did, I'd be a millionaire. Maybe one day. No, at JP Morgan, I think is really risky here. Okay. Okay. This one you got to be very careful with. Do you see why? Do you see why? Remember we were talking about, I don't remember which stock we were talking about a second ago. I think it was like something like Hims, right? You have to be aware when the next push doesn't show you that, right? You don't beat this. That's why this wick is very good for you. You literally could do this with a wick like this, by the way. This is what you should do with a wick like this. Look at that. That's what, and I would maybe even include the entire bar with that, including the wick. But if you just wanted to do the wick, you can do this. It's a different, it's not necessarily block resistance. It's just like top resistance because you saw that surge. So it's giving you the good level to pay attention. You can do that. I'm not prone to do that too often. Yeah, we've been going over it a lot the past like 2 weeks. We've done a lot of block price action. It's been great. We'll go over it more, but do you see why this is a problem? You were trying to say this is your higher low. Now you've shown the pathway lower, and you didn't make any kind of new high with that. Like this is being that wick resistance. So what you did was you actually failed this block right here. You just barely failed it. Just absolutely barely failed it. Now, you can come back from this, right? Because you might go retest this multiple times today. But is this giving you confidence in being like, yay, I'm going to hold on to JP Morgan calls for the next 2 weeks? If your answer is yes, then you got some cojones. You got some huevos. Ay, Dios mío. Dude, consumer sentiment, I swear these numbers are fudged. I swear. Let's see here. Oh, I guess it's from. Oh yeah, okay. So you're telling me it went down from April? Okay, okay. At this point, it's just data is just comical to me. Where do we want to take markets this time? Exactly. That's kind of what it seems like to me. I think whatever number you get, they can just call the news and say, "Hey, everyone, print this type of wording, and we're selling off the market today. Our rich people need to sell, and we need to steal some money from retail." That is genuinely what I believe. I believe that happens to some extent. A lot of it can be market, like algorithmic, and usually when it's algorithmic, you're kind of like it's like a video game. It's like those are kind of the mechanisms within it that they can utilize. And I think that's why you never saw a dip this week. They didn't want to give everyone a big dip. They gave you one tiny one right here. I don't know if someone wants to look. Tina, good morning. How you doing? Happy Friday. I haven't seen you in a couple days, I feel like, Tina. Maybe I missed you in the chat. My call is sell when the money is good today and be done. Anytime the money is good today, use that as an opportunity. If you want to, hold some things. My thing is like get to 522 and sell, right? Mine is get to 522. Look at that. So Oakland, wait, is Oakland here? Because we did this yesterday. This is like block price action. Yeah, this is like block price action. So this is why I took the Qs yesterday. We came down to the center point here. We didn't show the way lower by breaking the low. By the way, I think this is a little incorrect. And then you just kind of grab it at that center for the Opex squeeze because they, I said this multiple times. I believe Wall Street showed their hand with the price action early on in the month. Into the second part, this part, you're like, okay, they want to go up into Opex. And they're even showing you they do. And then you see this and you go, oh, okay, thick. SPY wasn't as good. SPY, you have an argument for saying SPY was better, right? Some people would believe this is better. I like cheaper prices, so I talk differently. But SPY came into the top of the zone. And we were just pointing out, and we said this in our video, this is where you pay attention very closely. But if you dip down into here, it's still bullish until you lose this low, right? So you break out, you come back in, and then you go up again. You break out, you go too deep, then you start to break down. Yeah, it's just like actual block, paying attention to support and resistance within a block. It's very, very nice. It's pretty much price action in blocks. Very nice. So now I'm looking for the QQQ to at least get to 522. If we can get to 522 early on in the day, I can sell. I can leave a few contracts for runners and see if we can get that 525. That would be crazy. That's how I'm seeing it for now. We haven't seen any kind of weakness yet. JP Morgan has shown weakness, though, and that is one that we mentioned right away this morning as, JP Morgan risk to reward downside looks like the way for the next, like, maybe even, it depends on how it shapes up next week, but you could just see selling for, like, a week and a half. Maybe even, it could go into June, actually. Netflix is killing me. I'm short the stock and keeps going up. Hopefully within 3 months it'll drop. I think, yeah, that's the thing. If you're looking at anything and your risk reward, you can buy yourself a lot of time. You see the buy imbalance this week? Someone did mention the buy imbalance this week. Someone mentioned it yesterday, actually. Someone yesterday in the morning mentioned the buy imbalance, and I was like, oh, that's a good sign. Thoughts on getting down to the weekly move on SPY? It's not happening. Nope. Acknowledge that this is an unexpected move. What you're looking for is the unexpected move that can be managed. This is a serious... Okay, here's how I'll explain it. You are getting price action this week because of what? Because of the China de-escalation, right? No one thought that would happen. Wall Street did not think that would happen. That is completely unexpected and is one of the most unique unexpected things that you will ever see. On the back of a trade deal with UK that on a normal basis, you are lucky to see a deal start to get negotiated after 12 months. You did it in like 3 months. So once you understand that and wrap that around your brain, how unexpected that thing is to happen, you literally experienced history in the history, not in the making, it's made. You experienced history with the UK deal. That does not happen often at all. You experienced history. So yes, an unexpected close makes total sense, right? It would make less sense to get all of that news. Do you know how rigged the market would look? Do you know how rigged this market would look? They would show how rigged this market would look if they dip this down below the weekly expected move. Now, taking that into consideration, you can say, this is great. Wall Street did this. Retail did this too. Retail is probably buying into the top, meaning they are using this as bait to potentially get us to buy at the top so that they can show the classic dip down, possibly to grab liquidity, possibly just to shake you out with whatever news they want to say. Hey, Jerome, go out there and just say, we're holding rates higher. Oh, rates are going to extend because we don't have enough tariff deals, and tariff deals, so tariffs are going to be inflationary. Oh, okay, sell off, and then you believe it. Right? No, understand you saw something unexpected, and if we're going to see a dip down, it's because retail is buying at the highs. Wall Street probably already knows what's happening here. It's Opex. You have to think. I know this is awful, and this is what I dislike about markets. Do you know why? Do you know why I dislike all of this about markets? Because if markets were not so rigged, you would see a buy, you would see a sell, you would see a buy, you would see a sell, you would see a buy, that would pull back, you would see a buy, you would see a sell, you would see a lot less of 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1. You would see a lot less of this type of behavior. You would just see, oh, okay, we're making a market top. All right, we're going to pull down. Oh, that's a 3 move. Okay, that's a correction. Okay, now we're going to go up for, oh, look at that. That's 5. Okay, well, now this, it would be a lot easier to read into, and you'd see a lot less of like a 30-minute divergence just going break and then break. You would see a lot less of this. I would love for the riggedness to get out, but parts of the riggedness set up things for us. If you're patient, you can see things outside of these yellow lines, and that's usually where you can catch them doing the next thing. And I think that's what we're experiencing now. I think you're going to get a 2-hour bigger pullback, and I think it's going to take you back down below the monthly move. Then I think you could see that react back up and then set the real trap. That's how long this could extend. Right? I always want to think like it can extend. If it's not going to extend, you have to take out critical levels. Like you have to break down to here, down to here. Oh, fail. Okay, that has to fail. Then you have to break this low. Then you get some kind of rip. Then you fall again. I don't think you want a 5 push lower out of this. I think you want something more corrective. And I think you could hold up for the Qs right at 480, 481. Worst case, 460, 650. Right? If you just understand when the market is doing something crazy, usually it's some kind of bait. Like when you see this, I know it's great. It is great, but it's bait for now. Where this is going to start to produce more positivity will be after the daily pullback. Market mechanics in play on Opex. I think that's a great way to put it. This one more than most based on the move we've seen. Biden's inflation was killing the market. Taylor Swift was single-handedly holding up the economy. Bro, my friend that year when we were going through like the bear market, which whatever anyone says, I believe that was a bear market. You had more than the corrective move lower, so that in my mind is a bear market. The funniest part was my friends were like, still, this one girl, she was still buying like 3 Taylor Swift tickets a year. Do you know how much money that is? I couldn't believe how much money that was on concerts. I don't think I've ever paid more than, and this was for a festival. The most I've ever paid for a ticket to something like that, like a concert, like a festival, was like $350. She paid like, I think it was like $850 plus all the like added on fees. It was like $930 for one ticket. That's psychotic. Bro, that is psychotic. Do you know how much like Bitcoin you could have, or no? Do you know how much Nvidia at $50 back then or $20 back then that you could have bought? Fucking A, man. Real in the bears? Yeah, nothing's bearish about this yet. You have not seen any kind of pathway down. You're building the new block that you're going to use later. That's what's happening. I think you're doing this, Then you'll see like this. Then you'll see this to scare the bears again. Oh, divergence, right? And then it'll just turn right back up. And then you'll probably create another block. And then you'll curl up again. And then you'll see this. And they'll say that's the top. And then you'll see that euphoric move. And it's not going to time out like this. It never times out how you think. But that's how I see them doing this throughout the day. But if you guys look in retrospect, what did we say would happen today? You're just going to see this kind of all day. Never showing that pathway lower. If you do show the pathway lower, you're probably going to show the pathway higher right after. At these higher levels, you just don't want to show it right now. If you show it right now, the game changes. Rolling Stones, $10. Let's freaking go. Did you guys hear about that? Remember when we mentioned the Ozzy Osbourne concert? I'm pretty sure it already happened. The Ozzy Osbourne, like, last concert. Apparently, did you hear they caused an earthquake? Byron, I like this guy. 3K on Taylor Swift ticket. Hey, Joshua, that's not including travel. That's not including food. That's not including the merch she bought. That's not including what's it? That's not including her partner who came with her. No, the way I know how you're reading into it, Open Group. Reeling the bears in means trying to convince you we're going down on Opex. That is what Oakland is saying, guys. All right, he's saying reel the bears in by showing them some selling in the morning. Reel the retail in. We don't want them part of the little afternoon squeeze. And then we're going to reel you in again in the afternoon. And then we're going to rip it into, like, I would say they probably rip it right into, I think you could rip into the close. But right now, you're just building the block that you're probably going to retest after this, or you're just going to start to extend. I think you're more likely to see more. I think another... No, actually, I'd be confident to say you could take off soon, just a little bit, get to like 592.50, come back into there, and then you see the real run. Then you create another block. This is a block right now that you're creating. Watch, I'll draw a zone around it, and we'll just watch it together. That was the retest. I'm gonna go with this wick right. No, we'll go with that. I think that's good. Now you see it kind of rip through, right? It should do this. If it doesn't do that and you see this, that's when you start to be more fearful. When this is taken out, you be more fearful, right? That's not what's on the cards for a squeeze today. But you can start to build, squeeze it, come back down, quick retest, then you see the real move, create another block around like lunchtime. That's how this, if we're going to keep squeezing, that's how I see it behaving. Netflix still going higher? That bastard. Netflix still going, man. Like, here's the thing. If you didn't know this about, like, market stocks and how they like to do things, markets are very good at doing what? Waiting till the last absolute second that you can... fuck. That's what markets like to do. I think that is the case for Netflix. I think this is it. Like, look at this. Here, we'll draw this shape. Not even close. Look at the comparison. Last absolute moment. Look at that shape. That's why this is so difficult to short, because it's just scaling. I would be, as an investor in Netflix at low levels, I would be considering getting the fuck out. That's what it is. I'd be getting out of that and looking at Target. Right? Can't wait for that. Yeah, you have to see if the trend continues. That's the crazy part, Tina. I don't think you have much time left for Netflix, though, before you get some kind of daily pullback. I didn't look at the daily scale. I need to look at that. But then you can just look at Target and be like, oh, wow, a safer, a dividend. I just turned, over the last 15 years, I turned $10,000 into $100,000. And now I can go plant that over at Target. And every single quarter, I can make, 1.12 off of these dividends. right? I can make this percentage a year just off of dividends. I can make like, $5,000 almost. And as I'm buying at a low, I could also get the benefit of growth at the same time. Like, that's what I like. That's investing. All right, let's see if we're going to do how it should go. And this is nice too, because you pull it across. Look. Oh, what was this wick here? Did I not use that? I kind of want to use that. Technically, I should take low. I'll at least include this wick. But you pull that across, it still is like very nice. All right, now we're testing the top of the zone. If we can get that breakout moment, that'd be great. Someone wanted to look at Amazon real quick. Amazon on the 5-minute, you're looking for a ramp up here soon. You're looking for rotation into Amazon. You want this to kind of rotate into it slowly if you want to see upside. Nothing's rotating into this just yet, but you want something to cause this to go fill that gap. And I think filling the gap is maybe all you get. This is going to be a very funky block. So it's not the best. You more just mark the high, mark the lowest point, and you would say, okay, the best I should expect from Amazon is 212. If we can even get there. Look how lackluster it's being. But it is tapping back into there. You see this? It's tapping back into there, but it didn't necessarily show you like, yeah, I want to go higher. It's like an equal high. So Amazon has some risk to it. Do I think it works out? Yes. Does it have to work out? No. Yeah, very nice though. Very nice for Amazon. Yeah, not bad. I mean, 210's only like 7 cents right now, or 8 cents. Oh, yeah, those weeklies take a long time, but it would say like, hey, seeing some kind of drop in the next month makes a lot of sense. SPC trade, not kind of doubting yourself on it. Unless we dip now, then dip still 514, then high of day, the 2 path I see. Just early, not for now. Take a look, Zim. We can maybe look at Zim soon. Maybe like Friday, or I mean Monday, sorry. What are the ups and downsides of what? I actually thought about that. Rajiv, the upgrade doesn't look like we move at this point, man. Quite the sideways effect. Still look at this. See if we've been able to break out yet. Nope, resistance at the top. More consolidation. We are in the top half now. Look if we remain there. That is this kind of market, big dog. That is this kind of market. This market is good for the this is the buy in May and pray kind of run. I don't think we'll continue the buy and pray in May. I think we'll see the sell in May and go away. Trap. Let me clear that up. Trap. I think we will see a sell in May and go away. Trap. That could take place into June to convince people, oh, me selling in May was correct, and then they're hesitant to buy on June. Yes, your analysis will change in extended hours. I don't like to use extended hours, but I will do this, right? So this is why I think we're topping actually, is because I'll use the XPX 500, little 4x there. And I think what you're going to see is eventually you're just going to see this thing be able to top out, and then you're going to confirm below this low, and then you're going to start the downtrend. You see more of this on the 4 hour than you do the 2 hour for the SPY. The good part is the SPY was able to extend it for long enough that you could see a little blip on your 2 hour. That would be fine. It would be actually fine to see this just go wham. You see that little blip, and then Monday we just see the rug. I think you have a high potential for a rug pull on Monday. I don't know if it's the trend stopping. I think you have the availability for another 2 hour move actually to test the high, show a lower high, or create a new high. Maybe that's how you get to 600. If you get to 600, I think 550 might be the buy point. I know that's crazy, but I think if you get to I'm sorry, not 550. I don't think that was correct. Hold on. If you get to 600, then it's either 554 or right in the damn middle at 562. Maybe a little lower, 560, 560. I think that's the daily dip you're looking for. That's the sell in May and go away kind of thing. And I think it's bait. If it's not bait, we will see worse things, and we'll let you know. I don't think it happens today. I do not. As of right now, if things change, I will change. But as of right now, I see nothing that implicates that it will happen today. I'll try to see why. Okay, this is the main reason why. You don't want to bail these people out in any way. You don't even want to bail out, like, you know, these people down in here. You don't want to, they don't even want to bail those out. They don't want to bail those out at all. These people are done. They're just holding things to expiration. I don't know what they're doing. But yeah, this is like, you don't even want to bail those out right now. So 600, look at that. You technically could get there. There's a lot of orders there. Justin, I did see that you were showing off all the Netflix divergences. It can take a long time for those to play out. Look how long it's extended. Okay, we show the way higher with a new high. We've created almost a new block, but the low you're still paying attention to is here. If you lose this, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as much as you think. What matters is the low beneath that. And this is that block that it created. Now this is the block that it most likely retests. Slow grind end of day, just like we were talking about the last 2 days. Slow grind. We're like, get that pullback Wednesday or Thursday. Okay, that's all the pullback you get. No, we were saying that 2 days ago. I think Monday's your potential 2 hour rug pull day. Don't be faked out. It's showing you the way higher. You can test in this zone all you want now. You can sit in here all you want now. It's to the bull side, right? This, you kind of delete that from your brain because you didn't have any of this price action before. Now you actually have the block. So this doesn't matter. This does. Because you actually have price action here now. You've let it give you enough time to see what's going on. I think you'll see trap, but I don't think it'll be till end of day. What up, Nana? How you doing? I'm gonna chug some coffee real quick, guys. As long as you remain in this zone, everything's okay. And as long as you're not losing this, then everything is great. And I think we'll just, I don't think we'll revisit this wick at all, actually. I think we just go up. Thanks, Milky. Thanks for saying that, buddy. Let me chug some coffee real quick so we can keep that good stuff going. Just because I don't think something's going to happen doesn't mean it can't, right? We know that. But we can fool around in this zone. Best case is actually you come test this line right now, right? Peek out of it, test into it, and then you just go. That could be all you get. That'd be amazing. Let me go look. I mean, Tesla, I would immediately be like, yeah. Hey, look at that. Where's Oakland at? I just clicked over on HIMS. We didn't make it to 63.40, but we got close. 63.19. Not bad. Let me go look at spot real quick. I think Tesla is just you made a new high. I think Tesla will continue today. I think it could continue to at least, if you beat that wick, I think you could get to like 350. I think 355 is on the table for Tesla. If you get to 360, you say, hell yeah, thank you. I'm a degen, and that thing is going to rip down next week. Watch out for a Tesla absolute rug pull. Tesla absolute rug pull. It has high implied volatility. It's a super retail stock. You got to be watching for that. No, I don't think we're done here. I think this is a test. This is a breakout. And now you test, and if the test goes well, you start to go up like in the next, I'd be confident to say in the next 30 minutes you start to see some good things. But fool around in that zone all you want, SPY. And if it flashes down, it needed to test here, and then we got to make it through that zone with no problems. They're doing the unexpected thing because you got unexpected news. As far as Tesla goes, I still see potential good things, but if you're holding on to for pennies and nickels and dimes at this point, if you have a good trade and you have good profit, you don't have to sit, go enjoy your day, make your money, enjoy your day. That's what I always like to do. As far as spot goes, and I think you could see one more 5-minute move higher. Spot's in a risky spot now. Okay, that could be 2-hour high or low. If you fail this right here, and I can't really show it, I want to keep my eyes on the SPY. So my point for this would be on the 30-minute, it's suggesting a still lower high. That lower high should be at 652. If you can see a breakout above today, above the high, that would still suggest positivity, but you are in a sketchy area. The reason for this, I want to pull this across for spot. So the reason for this is you're in a risky spot because you had to dip all the way back down into the previous low. Like you are in a risky spot because you lost a lot of price. You were able to go negative, which you should be thinking this could be a lower high. I think it does have the opportunity to extend, but it would have to be like, I'd have to be looking at the micros in here and be like, hey, is everything behaving well? So for now, if you can break out, right now you can use this as resistance. But if you can pop through, then you can use it as support. You can continue for a little bit. But if we look at spot from the daily scale, where is it? Where is it for right now? I think it wants to maybe go make that 2-hour divergence. But if you look at this, you're going, okay, where do we need to test? Weirdly enough, spot has already done very good things. Spot has done really good things. Where did spot need to break through? Right here. This is where it needed to break out from. And I want you to look what happened. Boom, retest, boom, big retest, go. So you're raising that floor. I'm actually not too bearish on Spotify. Okay, maybe for the time being. I still think it comes down with everything else. But I don't think it has to do this. I think maybe you see in here tested one more time. This is a great test too. Like the behavior here is really good actually from the macro scale. So now you're looking for that breakout, either use this and see a big extended move, or you flop this to go deeper into here, watch for the little rolls and things like that once you break this. But you can do this and literally come back. You're very positive. So I just say, like, what's the money look like today? If I'm holding on for a couple of extra pennies, don't get too greedy, right? The too greedy type of thing. Nvidia looks like it's going to be one. You're holding the floor. That's crazy. These wicks are crazy right now. Oh, that's a 5-minute. Okay. Whew. I think still good. I think you're looking for more. Boom, 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 boom. I think you're looking for this to extend. I think Nvidia should be all right, but Nvidia is risky as hell right now, guys. You have to understand that this is 4 pennies at this point. Nvidia is risky. And this could literally sit all day, all day, all day, and then just one pop. Boom, 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 boom. Done. It could sit. You get theta burned all day, see the move, be done. I think the same thing could be said for like Amazon. I think the same, like Meta coming down dramatically. This is not good for Meta, but Meta most likely sees what? A bounce to help out the market to do what? To test into a previous area. I would include all of this. I would include all of this. Okay. And I think Meta will eventually show support here. Remember, we were paying attention to the support here. I think Meta will eventually do like this, maybe into end of day. And then I don't know if we make it there. You might have to see like a rip. But this would be the retest for downside. If you're going to keep showing downside, then we could keep selling. And then end of day, you see some kind of rip, and then you just sell that off, right? Because we have another zone here. We have another one with this day. It's a day zone here. Right there. So if you can hold up there, that's good. You'll ping pong between these. But if you start to break that, that's bad. So you break this, good. You break that, bad. We don't need that stuff up. We're smart. We're wicked smart. All right, fool around in the zone. Came all the way to the bottom. Look at that. I don't want to see a break of the zone, but it's not really like bearish still. I think holding a lot of things, if you're seeing things that are dramatically up and haven't seen a 2-hour pullback, you're just going, okay, why would I hold on to that? Why would I hold on to that? You know, like, what am I trying to do? Is that greedy? You know, would you say that's greedy? I mean, really, just look at the SPY right now and tell me if you're still holding things from the low with that 30-minute divergence that we caught at that 95% line. Woo! My goodness. You're still holding from here to here. You've got some balls, if that's options. Now, if you're like a, you know, leap guy or something like that, I get it. But you better be like hedging, you know? Like that's a big ass move. I highly doubt I bet not one person held through all of this. You have 565 by the 23rd? Eesh. I think you'd have to see a sell today or something unexpected again next week. You will see some of the times that you will see unexpected things are like kind of back to back. You'll see, oh, an unexpected thing that's good. And I think this is the real unexpected thing. Then you'll see a fake unexpected thing, right? That's what I think. I'm a hodler, but not. Okay, 575. You think 575? Okay, 575 makes way more sense. Yeah, 575 makes way more sense. I would say, let me see. I would say you probably get to, where's this high? Oh yeah, 576. Bam. I think you see 576 at some point in the next 2 weeks. I'll give it enough room, but you could see literally a move on the 2-hour down to 576. Get a bounce, right? Because what does that do? That technically a test of 576 or 575. You lose that low right here from the week. And then that's your opportunity to bounce and then go down lower into the end of May. That's how I see it. Fool around in the zone all you want, SPY. Do your thing. Everyone waiting for gap fill. Got a feeling we just bounce. I mean, man, this market's being irrational, and I'm going to be the guy that calls exactly when the irrational stuff stops. It's difficult to do, but you're getting to that point. You're getting to that point where if you're calling it now, it's better. It makes more sense to try to call a top in the next like today, at least a inner like trend top for the 2 hour. Let me be right back. 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back in like 2 minutes. Did I say 2 minutes? I meant 1. My bad. If we're really just thinking about this simply, though, like, right, Patreon members, really, really, really simple. Where are we at? We're at the monthly move. Do we have time into the end of the month? Yes. So what does that yellow line mean for right now? Take your foot off the damn gas. Huh. I had to run up there for a second. Breaking below. You don't want to see that. This is where I'm like confused on one thing I'm confused about is if I include the wick or not. Yes. 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 You got a mixed thing going on here. Apple down, Amazon down, Nvidia, Meta, and Microsoft all down. Watch for that to flip. Watch for that to flip, and all these ones who are like green kind of either go a little bit more green or start to sell off, but the majority of them go green. We'll see if this is going to be bad, right? We'll see it. We don't see anything yet. We just see a break of this. Okay, test into here. We had like a really high up test. This is where you could probably mark off just like this price action down here. Allison's got that GDP estimate in 20 minutes. Oh, why did I delete out of... Do we? Bullish overall for the next 3 to 4 months. Yeah, with one little, like, retrace in there. So you have broken the downside. So now is where we can start to see if bearish things add up. Right now you're going to be like ping-ponging between here. Signals-wise, doesn't look good. While it's saying 588. If you go to 588, you're starting the downtrend. You are in a bull. You're more leaning in a bull market right now. You have come out of the neutral stance, shown the bull, shown the bull, shown the bull. But usually the first time you're shown the bull, you get a bear thing to happen. You get a bear thing to happen that's not really that bearish in the grand scheme of things. It's a moment in time where you just see a pullback for like a few weeks. That is the most probable thing to happen, is you see a daily pullback. Doesn't mean it's clear. The clear thing will be the buy. The sell here isn't as clear because you have news potential on Monday. The buy, if you get down to this area, that's the, we'll look for the signs. And we'll look for them. We'll find them. We found them pretty often, so let's keep finding them. Pullbacks are healthy. You never want things to go straight up because then they can come straight down. You need those buyers to step in at different levels so you can hold up at different levels. Yeah, and I think Dave's got it. You're kind of in a blow off top phase here. Remember that we peaked our head higher? Remember we peaked our head higher? Unless we're peaking our head lower, this is still not bad. Let's see. Where do you see this GDP estimate in 20 minutes? I don't see it. Maybe I'm being dumb. Finally, the puts are printing for a retest. We'll see if this test goes bad. We shall see. We shall see. Why market go down? Because people decided to sell at that time. People have decided to sell for about 20 minutes now. And now you might see a time where people decide to buy for 20 minutes. Then you'll probably see a time where people decide to sell for 20 minutes. Then you'll see a time where people decide to buy for 20 minutes. Bear trapped. Possibly. You're hitting right in the center, right where you want to. I didn't find it either, Josh. That's why I'm like weird, but I didn't look very hard. I'll type that. Bounce here, close to here, too high of day. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about one shakeout here. I'd still like us to get, peek our head back into that zone, not fail right here at 590. We'll say 591. We want to pass through 591 now. It's not rigged, just heavily influenced. Yeah. Tony, it's good to have you shouting stuff out again. I feel like we missed you a few times this week. Some people were like, where the heck's Tony? I like his shout outs. So we love having you here, buddy. Yeah, we have to get back into here, right? You can use this as resistance now, but you have shown the way higher without showing a way lower yet. If this would happen, it all changes. This happens, it all changes, and you got to see some kind of pump to come back. Hey, it wasn't me, Tony. Some people in the chat were just like, I miss Tony. I like his little shout outs. That's fun. I think people are eager to sell today. I think these are very high prices. And that's why I think this will be like algorithmic at the end. So technically, if you were buying a dip, let me just clean it up. So technically, if you were buying a dip for yesterday's, where did yesterday start? This is end of day. This is all day, right? So you're looking for where it made it. All right, let's see if it adds up. All right, we don't have these drawings up. Bam. There you go. SPY ended up getting there for this block. Now, yesterday we were really focused on this right here, right? Remember the Qs? Same point, little bit higher, right? The Qs are a good indication here that you're seeing support right on the line. We didn't move this shit around or anything like that like we just did for the SPY, so now you know, like, hey, there it is. That might be your last dip if we're going to squeeze here. This is a super risky thing right now. You're trying to like pretty much play this into a top. That is just as risky as trying to call a top, in my opinion. But I haven't sold anything yet. Have we hit 522? Nope. So I haven't sold anything yet. So that's what you were really looking for. I would include the high though, personally. I would include the high. So you cut it a little bit just so you're aware. I don't think it was like perfect to a T. I never believe it has to be perfect to a T, but it's a good area to pay attention. Second quarter 2025 is 2.4% on May 16th, down from 2.5% on May 15th. Still a positive number. Of high of day, then resume down. Exactly, yeah. So now the better thing to pay attention to is actually, you actually probably mark off the actual high now and the low since it's within the block. And then you look right in the center here. And if those sellers step in, it's going to be like right in here. So what you want to do as a bull, what you want to see is more breakouts, right? More new highs. Because you just kind of failed that one. So you want to see another one, then use it, then start to go. Right? Price action is always changing. Thank you for posting it, Allison. Appreciate you. Yeah, maybe that's why we need to set up some kind of Discord, just so we can all like have some fun and share our ideas every once in a while. Oh, we gotta share our ideas every once in a while. Richard likes what he's doing, though. Richard did well. Richard really did well. You know Richard did well. Because now my wife's gonna go spend $300. That's what's gonna happen. Richard's the go meter for her. Him's at 63.40. Perfect. That is where I would take my money and run personally. But I understand if you want to hold on to things longer. Like, I get it. Like, that's you. It's your decision. We think about money differently. We're not trading together or anything like that. But there's your 63.45. 63.45. Very nice. I think the exact line is like 63.40 on the dot. This is good. If it shows you the new high, you can use 63.40 to head higher. Locked in at 30%. Nice job, Mozart. I like it, Richard. I like it, Richard. Richard, how much better are you doing since you joined us? Just let me know. I want to make sure we're still doing good. I think it'd be fun. Invite someone in, let them talk about their stuff for a bit. We'll see. I don't have time for it right now, though. What type of entry? I'm already in. I'm already in the queues. Yeah, your queues, the entry was the same point as yesterday. At the end of the day, right? Because we wanted to go down deeper. We didn't. So the entry was when you retest back into this after showing, hey, we are going higher. Okay, 1, 2, 3, corrective. And then you kind of want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into end of day. You want this into end of day. That would be the perfect like trap. So this is my buy point right here. That's where I bought. Still holding, don't care. SPY gave it to you late. So if you're looking for SPY, this was it. This is the take a chance, be a degen, but I'm not someone who promotes being a degen. I just thought it would be fun to do it. Did we just leave a gap? Okay, good. We took care of it. 5-minute bullish divergence. You think the Tesla 355? Ooh. Boom, boom, boom. Fills gap, turns around. 355 is what I'm thinking is very possible now. Which, like, Tesla was doing some almost very scary things, right? Almost. So close to really showing a big, big way down for the bears. So since it's almost showing that, it might be a hint of what's to come. Oh, we have a little bit of wick coming in at that right around 63.40 for HIMS. Now that could be building up to be good if it gets a retest lower and is able to catch its head on like a 15 or 5-minute, but I would just say there's too much risk over the weekend. If 63.40 got hit, you're just like, thank you, done. Shit, I'd like to learn too, man. Yeah, we got that full technical analysis. We're going to put this block resistance, block support zones. We're going to put that price action video out on the 80% off full technical analysis course down there in the description. We're going to put that out there. Don't worry about it. So I'm looking for Nvidia to flip back to positive, Amazon to flip back to positive, Meta to flip back to positive, and potentially Microsoft to flip back to positive, and seeing if these Teslas and stuff can, Apple too, I don't know if I said Apple, but see if Tesla can hold price at least, if not go extend to 355, and see these little guys that are already green, Google, not a little guy, see if those can extend a little bit more. Yeah, see the gap above the important level? Very nice. Now you can tap into here. I don't think you want to fill gap. I think you can tap this line or start to see support at any point here for Google. VIX is going to form a bunch of reversals all the time, right? VIX is going to say it's reversing around. You have to take it with a grain of salt. You're looking for the 2-hour divergence. You're looking for the 2-hour divergence to print here today. That would be fantastic to see it forming today. All right, here's our test. Now we see if we need to dip down lower. This is where you can reject and then beat this low and see something a little scarier. Totally opposite. Hey, trucking with Josh, it happens, man. It happens, man. You guys have been here long enough. You guys who have been in the stream long enough have heard me multiple times be like, all right, I'm buying. This is my accumulation area. I'm buying my second position. Then I sell the first one. I'm like, fuck. It happens. We're human, right? Very good, Coulter. I think you had the same thing yesterday. That's great, Coulter. Love it. AMC and GME, I would be keeping my eye on these bad boys, by the way. AMC, daily. Look at this. Great divergence. Still good. Never showed the pathway lower on the daily scale. So this is just, it's all, but what did we say AMC needs? AMC needs a close above $3. If you're really talking seriously, then AMC needs a close above, I think it was like 320 something. AMC needs a no, 337. 337. Anything above 337 close is good, but you want AMC to just gap. GME is more the levels you pay attention to here. You want GME to close like today above 29.54, and then you want to see that start going next week and get above $33. You just want it to go. You do not want this to look back. If you want that big squeeze moment to happen, you never want it to rotate down from where you're at right now. You never want the daily to rotate back down. You want it to go. I think you have a chance. When you have this look, you always have a chance. We said that here. When you have this look, you have a chance, but pay attention to the reversal, right? Once this happened, we said you don't have the chance as much, right? You can always flip it back up, but you're kind of hoping and praying, right? That's hopium. This says down. So what does this say right here? If we cross, it says down. So you want this to go right now. And that E coming up in June, always a little worrisome as you get towards that little earnings, right? I hope it works for you. All right, we're rejecting as of now. look for if we need to test the lower wick, right? This is that wick thing. If we need to test the absolute low, you just don't want to break below here, right? There is like, when you get those extended wicks, you can mark them off, but that's a different kind of price action. That's a different kind of price action than just like paying attention to block support, block resistance. Cool. Very nice. Very cool stuff going on. The price action's been super interesting. We should go to the 1 minute and pretend to feel alive. You can. We probably can. As of right now, this says up. Let's see. You have a little pathway down. Yeah, new low of day. So you don't know necessarily yet. You could come test into here first, right? You could see this, then this, and then you kind of know, okay, the direction is only up. You're like, you're 2 little 1 minute trend moves away from just seeing like up. And if you fail this now and you keep that pathway down open, you're still looking for that time where you see bink, one little higher low on the 1 minute. Down towards these levels, because look, that's by the wick. This is all of this right here is the wick, by the way. It's even better that happened just now. This is even better. So I'm not gonna do 1 minute though. I don't like it. No bueno. So now what are you gonna do? Well, you have 5 minute divergence, right? You see it? Bam, bam. You want to wipe that out. You want to wipe out both of these, I think. I think you want to wipe out this too. I think you want to see I think you want to leak higher or see some strong move, maybe one quick retest again, and then you just go. Wipe all of this out, and then create it by end of day. Right? Create it by end of day. Bink, bink, bink. Then you go here. Then you do this. And then you get into the end of the day today. And you create that signal again. No guarantee that shapes up for you. It could just be like some kind of crazy algorithmic move. Everyone's shouting AMZ, it's up 12 cents. 12 cents is a big move for AMC. A lot of the time when you see those moves out of nowhere, it's important to watch, like, is it breaking through $3? $3 it can just reject. Technically for this week, is it 307? Technically for this week, you want to close above 307. Yeah, for that guy. 5 minute price action is just garbage for AMC and GME, actually. 30 minute price action is decent for GME. 2 hour daily, all those are decent for GME. AMC is just trash unless you're looking at a daily scale or 2 hour scale. Yes, Nvidia is very likely, like, okay, here's how to word it. Nvidia has about a 90% chance to pull back in some way. That could be sideways, guys. This is why if it wants to remain bullish, it remains bullish, okay? The trend is up. So up plays are still easier. I understand if you're someone who's versed in options and you want to do something going into the next couple of weeks and take some kind of 2 hour pullback, like fading play, I get it. That's fine. But if you don't have the amount of time in markets to really understand how things move or when something is going wrong, you have to be cautious in these times, and you're going to have a lot easier time with bullish setups. Because at the end of the day, like at the end of it all, even if you pull back on the 2 hour, this move could not be done. And then you could go higher, right? If you like dipped right now, you could go up. Or you go tag this, you come all the way back, then you go back up to get to that 600, then you see a big flop. And that could take you into the last week of May. So it always, always, always in these times, act like it can extend. All right, not with your position long. Understand you're at a monthly expected move. I'm not saying hold long because it's going to extend. It's I do not want to short because I always act like this can extend. until it shows me the opportunity to short. And I think that's the 30-minute scale once you lose this low. And then I think you could play somewhere down in here depending on where that weekly expected move is. Right? Wait till it shows you at least a 30-minute pathway lower. All right, resistance again. Yeah, it's more you're like, it can extend, but I don't want to get greedy, right? It can extend, but it also could just rug. So you're just like, I don't want to be greedy with that. Those two things don't really add up to nice. But if it gives me the 2-hour signal at the top outside of a monthly expected move, yay! So we're going lower. For now, the indication would be technically yes from the 5-minute. But there's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on. This is what we need to get through. This is not bad. Okay, look at the cues. This is not bad. This is not bad. The cues really show it to you. This is not bad. What is bad is the SPY's look right now. It does not look like the best. But all you did was test into that level again, right? We already showed off that box. So now you're really paying attention to here, and you're really paying attention to this low. You lose the low, it gets bad. But you're not even close to that just yet. And you the only way you go down to even test this is you fail here, and then you go down, and then you could just test it and turn right back around. All right? Until you are losing this, lose it, retest in, fail again. That's how you break down. You're not losing it. So don't think bearish things until you actually lose it. Then you're looking for a bounce, and then you go, okay, now we're heading down. Yeah, it's you're waiting for the, and this is very small time frame, so I won't be shorting. I'm talking like this is like day trader type shit. Right? We're just looking at 5 minutes because I think it's important. What is my opinion? My opinion is we break to the upside, we retest 591 to 590 one more time, and then we just start to see uptrend into end of day. I think you will get 2 decent 5-minute moves today. And I think you're about to see one. Richard. Class is in session with Tina. What'd Tina say? Where the heck is Tina? Did she eat her dinner? God dang it, Tina. Where the heck is Tina? Tina, you haven't commented in a while. I don't know what Oakland's talking about, but maybe you mean Tony. That's my same thing for the cues. Cues are showing to you even better. Why? 1, 2, 3, perfect level. 1, 2, and then what you want is 3, 4, 5 into end of day. It might take longer than that. It's a 5-minute chart. Don't quote me on this or anything, but you want to see another 2 push higher into end of day. You want the 5-minute move to look slightly corrective, in my opinion. That would add a lot of credibility to seeing downside next week. I think Oakland shouted out 575. I'm looking at 576 right on the top there. So I'd like this to see that extended move any moment now. Hola. My daughter just started saying hola. She says ova, ova, ova. Yeah, so same opinion for the Qs. Qs looking for 525 would be really good by end of day, and SPY would be 595 by end of day. Both would be great. And we have the data point for it. That's why we keep shouting out 595. It could reach 596. I don't think, Oakland said 600. I think a few people have said 600, but I just remember Oakland. I don't know why the suit and tie always gets me. But I think 600 is slightly on the table for like absolute euphoric move. Once you start to, like, if you go to 600 and you fail and you see a major failure there, we'll have to look over the weekend at that 600 level. But I have a hard time believing getting to 600 right now is a good thing. There's a simple reason for that, by the way. Right? Where's the center? It's right at like 598. What's right by that? 600. So like right here is that test. I don't want to get here yet. I don't want to get here on a euphoric upward, just crazy move. I don't want to do that. I would rather see us back off, cut it short, take care of these gaps even, and then turn back up, and then you start to do this. That's what I want to see. Now, the market never does exactly what you want to do, but it is what it is, you know? Oh shit, I gotta get rid of that zone. It's too many overlapping things. Yeah, that's pretty nice. It is different than other people, like day traders, probably price action they pay attention to. I think a lot of them pay attention to the tops. They would do this. They would do that, or something like this. Yeah, something like that. Right? They kind of do this game. I'm not inclined to do that. I like to do things how I understand them. So now I'll include the high of day before we made the low of day, and the previous early low of day. I think it will, Zaki, and I think that's what makes it happen. It's a tux. We keep it classy. We got class out the ass. All right, did we get any of these to flip back? Amazon's still struggling. I gotta look at these individuals real quick. Oh, look at that sell off of the for hymns. Whoever was shouting out hymns, do you see that sell there at 63.40? 63.45. Damn. 5 cents off. We were so close to being right on. It's over. Get ready for the sell-off, Rajiv says with a smile and a grin. What are you? Who are you? A Wall Street? Are you a market maker? Yes, bearish divergence on the 4-hour, Billy. But watch it screw over people till end of day. Should have taken. I maybe do. I just don't pay too much attention to that. I like to pay attention to what I'm doing, like what I like to look at. I'm very, I would say, biased on what I like to take plays on. I pay attention to like something like Tesla, and I still don't take plays on Tesla. IV is always way too high for me. I'd rather just play the cues here, sit pretty all day, sell a little bit at 522, YOLO some stuff to 525 with just like as I break even. Probably by the end of this month, we'll see 600. I think that's possible if you get the 2-hour pullback next week and then you see 2-hour upside into Friday. I think if you're gonna hit 600, you would see a 2-hour pullback Monday, Tuesday. Then Wednesday, you start to figure your shit out, and then you go up into Thursday, Friday. But that would add into the ultimate trap for May. That is like the scariest point for May. All right. All right, here we go. The general consensus is this is your fake out. The Qs are good at proving the fake out. And then we want to see it not see resistance here. We want it to break through, right? You want a new high of day to show you that you could use this as support now. So you want that to break through now. Veil. AMC's at $3. Let's go. Go, AMC. Go. Yeah, AMC kind of ripping. GME not following at this moment. Nice little sell on HIMS. I got to look at these other names real quick. See what's shaping up for these little guys. I'm going to go into it pretty deep here. Is Amazon just building liquidity? Like someone... Did we show way higher? What's this price? 206.85. 206.87. No way higher yet. Sounds like Billy Corgan. Bitcoin leading the way. Let's go. Wait a second. Okay, there's your 4 hour. Get that to continue. Solid build up here. No way lower from this. This zone still having trouble here. We want that to boom, bust, not show a pathway lower at this point. I think you're getting close to a daily pullback for Bitcoin as well. A lot of the time, I never trust when like AMC or GME run, by the way. But that's what you need. This is what you need. You literally need this. You want to break above 318, if not 337. You start to go on some bull behavior there for AMC. Wow, actually not bad. That's actually good. I never have much hope for AMC, but when the moment happens, I'm sure I'll be happy. I hold on to AMC and GME. Yes, I do. What do we got going on over here? Hey, Jams, thank you so much for subscribing today. I don't even mean for it to be subscriber only today, but the Streamlabs has been broken like for like the last 4 days. So sorry if that setting, I can't turn it off right now. I even tried to toggle it. Something's funky with like YouTube and Streamlabs. But at least we're here. At least we're here. Going back to the beginning of the live, you were talking about the keys and the Harry Potter, and you go, "Ooh, mascar." That's the Spanish. That's the Spanish Harry Potter. Ooh, mascar. Ooh, miscar. Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's see. Donald likes the Batman voice. My favorite video, if you want a little laugh, isn't it called like Badman, where he makes fun of that and he's like, "Where are the other drugs going?" He's like, "Really? I've been trying to work on my voice. You're telling me that's not a good one? Could I try a couple more?" I love those stupid little videos when the internet used to be funny. AMC GME, is GME picking up? Wow. You know, you can't ignore things like that. It's not bad. You can't tell me that's a bad thing for a stock to do. AMC is the only stock where people see like a 10% up move and they go, "God, that's horrible." Same with GME, I guess. Man, I mean, crazy. Crazy. I'll love it if that happens though. I'll be happy. Hey there. Where the other drugs going, huh? Oh, I love that. It's so funny. Let's look at the yields. You notice the yields coming back. Remember, we were talking about this being just a 4 hour kind of pullback, right? Now, this has broken critical things, so that 4 hours got to build back up. So you're looking for the test up in here to fail, but I think it continues for one more push for yields. We've kind of been following those yields. It's kind of interesting. All right, no more clicking around. Sorry, guys. I need to do the clicking around on my other screen. Still no breakout moment. That's unfortunate. Now that Walid Khalid, that's where you got to do your that's where you got to do the Joker voice. And here we go. My father was a drinker, and one day he came home crazier than usual. Yeah, Tony, he knows. He might trade differently than you, and that's okay. You know, not people don't trade the same. Yeah, I would just say your info, and someone will like it, someone won't. You know. I just describe what I see and how I like to move my money. And then, you know, if someone wants to take that, they can, you know, make those type of decisions. But at the end of the day, us thinking about money 1% different could be the 1% difference that makes us successful or not successful, right? My thoughts on the SPY are we're going to see a melt up here. I think you're going to see two squeeze-like moments today. I think you could see it from like right here. This is a great level to like 592.50. Then you pull back down into 591 or 590. If they even pull it back at that point, you could just make a new block up higher. And then you just keep like that slow grind into end of day. You know, they just kind of theta burn over and over in certain areas. That's what I think you're going through here. Yes, Rajiv, I think so. Man, I had over 100 calls that expired today, sold last week. No! No! Tell my son, who's 23, to go and learn how to trade. I learned by actually taking trades and still learning. Our trading school is real. I've never done one, so I can't say with 100% confidence first, Tina. But if you have a good head towards markets, can you look at the curriculum? Can you look at the teachers? Can you look at the material that they would learn and decide for yourself? Like, is this what I think is the most helpful for my kid? Right? I think that's where you're in a better spot. I think you're in a better spot by really digging in and showing that you care about it, which I'm sure you do. I'm not suggesting you don't. I'm saying show that you care by just going into the curriculum yourself and being like, do I see this as beneficial? What are they saying in here? What is this? What is this? And see if it leads to a successful route. I got offers to trade with, some fucking mutual fund or some shit. Like, what was that, like 2 years ago? I didn't take it because the money didn't make sense. And you have to look, like, I bet a lot of what they do has nothing to do with technical analysis. Like, a lot of it. So I would decide for yourself. I know that's maybe a bad answer, but also it's a good one. It's saying like, hey, like, I think you have a good head on your shoulders, Tina. I think whenever you come in here, there's never some kind of like, I took on too much risk than I want, and this and this and this. I think he could probably learn something from there, but it's for you and for him or her. I think you said son, right? Yeah, your son. You would be a good indication, and maybe he would too if he's interested in it. If you think it is a good opportunity, that's probably the better spot. Yeah, I'm not someone who's going to sit here and tell people what's best for them and their child. That's not my game. That's not my game. If I would ever be in a place where I could take on a young stud, we could do that. We could maybe do that, but that's like, I'm still working with my own kid, right? But yeah, I'm not in that game. I'm more in the game of just like, you know what you know, and so guide him the best you can. And if guiding him the best you can is you go look at everything in the curriculum, you go look at the type of teachers, you look at their history, I would highly suggest seeing if who he would learn from actually has traded and saw success. That's what I would say. You in this category, or at least in that big of a spectrum, right? If you're going to go somewhere to learn, like physically, like a school for it, you don't want to, in that scenario, those who can't do teach, right? This is not an environment where those can't do teach. That's what I would say. Yeah, I thought about doing that. We thought about doing like a $30 a month thing where we do like one lesson a week, or like we really focus on MACD and MACD behavior for a full month. Then we really focus on RSI and put the two together for a month. Then we look at, you know, weekly or monthly expected moves for a month, and we do like one class a week. I was thinking about that, but it's just too it's going to be too time consuming, because that would be like another that wouldn't be too bad. It'd just be like 2 hours a week, but with the live video now, it's a lot. Still rejection here for the time being. What's the hell is AMC doing, man? Okay, it's coming back. Watch for that to close below $3 now. It's a great idea, but tedious, exactly. I'd be interested in a class like that. Well, it's a look. I mean, the thing that's bad about that is I don't know how many people would do it. So when you don't know how many people do it from a marketing perspective, it's hard to find a good price because I don't want to, charge what other people charge, like $700 for something. I'd rather just do a little monthly thing. That way you can hang out for the sections you want to hang out. If you hear, like we mentioned, oh, we're going to be doing price action, you really want to learn about price action, you could join for a month. Like, I like that better. No, AMC crime. AMC is going to probably give up that entire move. I hope it pops off. It just can't turn around. Oh, I've taken them, Chris. I've taken a few YouTubers' stuff. I've taken them. They are... I always say this, like, I put things that I see as 100% helpful to everyone. I think everyone could learn from every section in the course. And I don't charge, $3,000 like I paid for one of them. And that one had the most info. It also had the most useless info. Some pieces were good. Most pieces were just noise. Like, oh, Max Payne. Okay. Max Payne, if you just pay attention to Max Payne every single week and that's your main thing to go off of, it's just you're not going to be successful. Honestly, I learned so much from your YouTube videos. That's the point of YouTube, right? The point of YouTube is if you're someone who's got a good head on your shoulders and you have the time to stick around and you can, not make silly decisions with trading from that point. I think it was like someone said it took them about 100 videos to really start to understand what's going on here. The course is to speed up that process and not talk so like gray. The course is like, this is it, But very good from the SPY so far. Just remember, we can doodle around in here. This is the only worrisome sign right now. But until we actually see the real worrisome sign, we really shouldn't be bearish at all here. That's great, Tina. I'm glad to hear that. I've always been told I'm pretty weird. My wife says, she's like, you're kind of weird. UNH is in a buy zone for investment purposes. They are getting investigated apparently by the DOJ, so you have to understand the risks. There is no investment that doesn't have risk. Do what's best for you. It has no inclination of like, oh, it's going to come back. You're weird, and we're here for it. Thanks, Dick. No, thanks, Richard. AMD's printing it? Good. I don't know if AMD makes a new high, though, from this. I don't think it makes a new high. I think AMD stops at like 120 to... Well, let me actually get a level for you. Don't take my word for it. Take the data's word for it. All right, let's look for AMD for you people out there trying to degen this bad boy. You're already there. You're already there. Where the heck is it again? AMD. It could see an absolute ramp up to like 130. That is getting greedy to me. I think this wick is a good... I would be doing this right now if I was if I had a trade with AMD. I do not. I would do that and say the best price to take my risk off is if you get there. I think you could if you get that melt up into end of day. 121.15. This is not block support resistance. This is more just like a high, like an actual just resistance. And you see how the sellers all had control here for 30 minutes pretty much. So you're looking for those sellers right here. And I would just look at the middle point of that and say anywhere in this zone, I can make a decision. Just how greedy do I want to be to get to like 121? Yeah, that's not block resist. That's something, that's just looking at resistance itself and understanding, hey, where did the big sell come in? Oh, that big ass wick. Okay, that's where I want to make a decision. As far as I see, AMC not... What you don't want to see from AMC is the 30 minute to roll down here. If the 30 minute rolls down, oof. You're hoping for a gap up Monday, and then it doesn't roll down anymore. You never want this 30-minute to look back. And look how it's looking back right now. It's kind of fading in. It's not done yet. Oh, create a block here. That would be great for your 5-minute. Create it up here. Never go revisit. I think you potentially will go revisit $3 though. So you don't want it to look back though. You want that thing to pop. You want that thing to pop on Monday. Trying to stay live because I don't think I'll be able to come live later today, by the way. So I'm sorry about that. 120 is the target. Good. Something below 121 is good, in my opinion. So Tina, perfect. I think AMD will come back down. I just don't think it's like right at this very moment. All right, well, have a good weekend. See you Monday. Richard, you taking off? Time for lunch? You going to be on later today? I don't think I'll be able to be live later today. I'm going to try. So Richard, turn on your notifications. I'm going to try, even if it's for like 30 minutes. I think it would be fun to watch. But yeah, no guarantee. I'm going to try my best, okay? Exactly, 1:30. You see that? You see that, Tina? You see that? You see why I'm like 1:30 is possible. You're live later today. I'll join. Okay, I'll try. That means I probably have to hop off in the next like 10 minutes. So I got like 10 minutes here. Yeah, about 10 minutes. If I want to try, if I even want to have the best attempt at going live later. I still need these guys to flip back to positive. Flip back to positive. Meta, different story. Meta just needs a bounce. Flip back to positive. Signs of turning around for Microsoft as well. Now, Microsoft has shown a somewhat pathway down. So we should not necessarily expect a new high today for Microsoft. It's definitely possible, but is it probable? No. What has happened here for Microsoft? Let's look at this together in the last few minutes here. This is different. Look at the price action. Low, 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 low. Uh-oh. Now you are still at 5-day. You just want this move to take out that high and you continue positivity. But as you have shown major signals here, as you're outside of critical levels, as you do this, you can reject and start to roll. So look for that lower high from Microsoft. Microsoft would be a great hit. This is why I hope to get off here in like 9 minutes and we can look at this stuff later today. That would be very, very nice, actually. AMD still doing okay. Nvidia still doing okay. The slow grind for Nvidia all day. Apple, I want this to turn around. Good, still good, still good. Wham. Show that we don't want to go lower for Apple. Show that we don't want to go lower. And then show that we actually want to go higher. Retest higher. Looking for, I don't know if this will happen today. You'd have to see an uproar. I think for today, Apple's looking at like 215, like 214 to 215. Anywhere in there is pretty risky. I'm going to click through the other ones on my other screen, okay, guys? So you can watch the SPY as it tries to break out here. QQQ breakout. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now you got to make the new high, and then you're pretty much saying, all right, I get, what is that, 1, 2. So one big push here would be nice. This would be best case. Q's just kind of slowly rips. Boom. Just so you know, that's like a 30-minute bar. That's not necessarily slow. Then you tap in, and then you just keep seeing this throughout the day to keep going higher. I think that's best case scenario for the Qs. I think they will have to retest into here one more time. Hey, there's your dip. We're looking good again, right? There you go, looking good again. Just need to show the new high. Show the way higher, okay, SPY? Show the way higher, okay, Qs? And then we hold price. If we start to see something change, we change. Heard a Willy Wonka reference? Bro, I watched that movie so many times. The old Willy Wonka, not the... Oh, I watched the new one too, because that thing was weird. Got in when you did? Yeah, pretty much the same. I'm looking at 522 for the Qs. That's all I need. I could sell 100% of the contracts right there and be happy. And you might see me you might see me show up to the live show later and say I did that, because it's hard to my ADHD distracts me from understanding, like, oh, I need to sell here. Thankfully, there's a big red line at 525, so maybe I won't get distracted. So I'm either selling everything at 522, or I am selling to break even, the amount of contracts to break even on the trade, and then just letting the rest ride. Yeah, they are for today, Josh. I bought them yesterday. I bought them at end of day yesterday. Like, well, like, yeah, literally like the end of the day. That's right. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck too, guys. You got to put yourself in the scenario to get lucky. I'm in it. We'll see. I still see a lot of risk for next week, so I wouldn't be, even if we see an upward move next week, I ain't doing anything with that. The trading gods. And just like that. Oh, no, AMC's still up. I thought that I was going to look at that and it was going to be down by like 5, or it's going to be only up 5%. Oh God. I wish Richard was still here. We got to look at our lottery boy. Let's see what's trending right now. Huh? A lot of people saying the blow off top thing. A lot of people saying the blow off top thing. Microsoft always skews options. Microsoft will be interesting if it can make a new high. I would be impressed. Lottery boy on the moon right now. That's facts, Waleed. AMC is doing what it needs to do. That's all you need to know about. Doing what it needs to do. Perhaps the Opex move happens next week. No, there's too much money on the line here. Well, the best case scenario is you go up now, 2-hour pullback into Wednesday. Wednesday, you curl up, you set up the actual topping signal on that Friday, and then Friday, you see it all ripped away. And you get the daily pullback. And that's all it is a daily pullback until we see what level it breaks. And where we could see like a 2-hour divergence or something in the opposite direction. That means you have the opportunity for maybe a 2-week pullback, either from today to 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now, or next Friday to 2 weeks to 3 weeks from then. I'm saying that the pullback would be about 2 weeks. All right, we're fighting in the top here. No way higher yet. Yeah, you just look at the put call, like here, you just look at this. This is where you can't, like, I don't pay attention to this, is what I'm saying. I don't care about that. This will not help you almost ever. Like, literally ever. Maybe like 1% of the time it'll help you. I really don't think I've ever really utilized Max Payne. But that could be, maybe I just don't understand it like someone who actually utilizes it does, right? I'm not hating on it. But I'm paying attention to 600, 590. Obviously, we're above 590 for the time being. Aren't we? Not crazy for saying that. But this is what I want to see. Look at all this. So if they would just dip down to like 575, 580, you pay out some bears. You want to crush all the bear sentiment. That's what I think wants to happen here. Crush all the bear sentiment so no one sees it coming. And if no one sees it coming, then who will see it coming? Us. We will see it coming. The only risk is that you get good news on Monday about tariffs and you actually see blow off top like start on the daily time frame and you only get one pullback at some point. I think you'll get that pullback sooner rather than later. Yeah, Mr. Joshua, see, you're thinking of the right things, right? We're just chilling. Now, if you don't see the pathway higher here, it becomes a little riskier. If you start to lose this, then you open the door to losing this. So you want to see up. If this is going to continue to squeeze, you want to see up. Like now. Up, 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 up. This has been a fun couple of weeks, though, with price action. I don't want to continue to do 5-minute chart price action, so I'm glad that this squeeze is most likely coming to at least a pullback stage. At least. Because my goodness, 5-minute price action is tiresome. Do they lose money? What do you think? What do you think? If a put way, way down low expires today and we are not at 460, what do you think? Yeah, they do, Pokerick. I'm just poking you. Poking the bear over there. I'm poking Eric. No, yeah, it's pretty much like anything today by end of day, like 590 by end of day could be worthless. Like 590 could be worthless. I highly doubt that the 460s are even going to be able to pay for 1 cent to get out of those positions today, right? That is the YOLO players. UNH is in a buy zone. That's it. It can do whatever it wants to do. I'd rather see a 2-hour divergence first, but yeah, it came down into 250-ish, right? So 250 was the accumulation zone. Yeah, they're either gonna roll it because it's probably a very, very cheap option. They're either gonna they probably don't roll at this point. But they could stack them on or just get rid of them right at the wrong time, right? It's usually the opposite. Spy new high, not yet. Close. Yeah, they'd have to pay to roll it. And it wouldn't be that expensive. It could just be like, here's the thing. At the end of it all, these big numbers you see at extremely low levels could just be extreme hedging. That's not too expensive. A lot of hedging takes place with options. So weirdly enough, the people who are long here for like leaps could also be hedging here at extreme levels. David Music, thank you for subscribing, by the way. Sorry, I just saw that. My system has changed this week. I'm not happy about it. All right, let's look at those names. Amazon finally. Apple needs to do it. Nvidia did it. I would like Microsoft to do it as well. I want to see all of this, except for Meta, probably. I want to see most of this, except for Meta, to flip positive. Amazon trying to. Coming back into the top end, not making a new high just yet. Yeah, that's most likely hedges. That's why people, you got to think about it. Like a 460 put. Is that even fathomable at this stage? No. So a 460 put is blatantly someone going, okay, I'm going to put a 0.1% of my money to a hedge. That's what that is. And it seems huge because these people are dealing with probably billions of dollars. It is most likely a hedge. And then that hedge will be reapplied. I guarantee you that hedge will be reapplied eventually. It will probably continue in this area and they will just buy another hedge because it's cheap while they make money on the way up. They make way more money on the way up than they do losing that hedge, right? If they had, you got to think of it this way. If you have $10,000 up, right, to go up, and now you're up $30,000, does hedging with $1,000 really matter to you? You know? Well, it could be different numbers than that. Smart money is selling on the way up. They sell on the way up the entire move. So yeah, it's just you're at a critical point where most likely you will see extreme hedging here. Like I bet I could go see some now. If it hasn't happened already, I would be very surprised. I would look at next Opex. What is that? The 20th maybe? There you go. 100,000 contracts at 500, 100,000 contracts at 440. There's your extreme hedging. It's already started to roll into next Opex. You think there's a lot of money on the line today? Wait till next Opex. Wait till the next Opex. Wait till you have like 6 million open interest next Opex. And everyone's shitting their pants calling some kind of crash. Like early on in June. And then they're just blatantly wrong. That is the most likely case for them to be wrong. We'll pay attention to how they could be right. We'll pay attention to it. GME needs to be 100% with it. GME needs what? GME just needs $29. Wait, no, that's not right. Yeah, GME needs $29.50. You were correct. Then after that, it needs about 33. Okay, shit. I gotta hop off or else I'm not gonna be able to do this later. All right, guys, I really do have to hop off. I appreciate you guys so much for being here today. Really, really do. We had a great live stream. Lots of good questions, a lot of good comments out there. People understanding the environment we're in is the main thing I want to get across. You are in a risky spot. You can see that from the hedges that people are pointing out, right? There are big money is hedging here. So what do you think that they could see as risky? Well, this spot right now. So thank you guys for being here. I will try my best to come on the live show later. Make sure to just turn your notifications on. Even if it's for like the last 40 minutes or so, I'll try to do it for you guys, okay? Thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you guys for liking, subscribing, donations, all that kind of stuff. You guys are fantastic. I wish you nothing but the best for today. Pay attention to your risk, right? We've talked a lot about how this thing could break down. Watch for new lows and things like that, because that's how this goes the wrong way on you. We're looking for most of these stocks that are red right now and the big players to actually flip back to positive. That would be a great thing. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll talk to you guys later on today. Make sure to have those notifications on. Okay? Peace out. Later.